Greetings. Welcome to episode 3 of my new series titled St. Elizabeth, Jamaica is a new international airport to serve the three southwestern parishes of Jamaica. We will be discussing the above subject in today's presentation. First, I'm making a request for you to support this channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing today's video. Also, feel free to take part in any discussions below. Today's topic is the government need to start giving something back to the breadbasket parish of Jamaica. And today's 4 main points for discussions are: 1. Should the government be giving back something to the breadbasket parish of Jamaica, which has been providing the food for the tourists over the years? Number 2, why it will take a minimum of 4,000 all-inclusive hotel rooms to develop St. Elizabeth as a tourism destination. And 3, locally owned hotels and Airbnb will benefit from the large all-inclusive hotel chains coming to St. Elizabeth. And 4, the airport is needed in St. Elizabeth, or the large all-inclusive hotels will not come to the parish. The government need to give back something to the breadbasket parish of Jamaica. St. Elizabeth has been feeding the visitors for decades now. It's time they start reaping some of the tourist dollars across various sectors, such as Airbnb and guest houses, etc. However, the small hotels and Airbnb cannot bring in a number of visitors to put St. Elizabeth on the map as a tourist destination hotspot. It would take some large all-inclusive hotels to get visitors to start coming to St. Elizabeth in great numbers. The parish would need a minimum of 4,000, preferably 6,000 all-inclusive hotel rooms for a start, spreading over 4 to 6 hotels. It is the large 1,000 plus rooms hotels that put an area on the map and start bringing visitors to an area in great numbers. This will also be good for the smaller locally owned hotels and Airbnb operators in Black River and St. Elizabeth on a whole. For example, locally owned hotels and Airbnb does well in tourism hotspots like Montego Bay. They also does well in busy cities like Kingston and Mandeville, in addition to Montego Bay. The evidence that local operators are not benefiting in the absence of the large all-inclusive hotels is the number of locally owned hotels that have been closed in Black River and the surrounding areas over the past 20 years. See my YouTube video on the hotels that are closed in Black River. What is preventing the European hoteliers from investing in St. Elizabeth is the distance from the Montego Bay Airport. Even with the Southern Coastal Highway that the government has announced, it would still take over an hour to reach Black River from the Montego Bay Airport. Then it would take another 20 to 30 minutes to get to some other popular locations in St. Elizabeth, such as Treasure Beach, Junction, and Alligator Pond, which is on the border with Manchester, etc. An international airport in the southwest of Jamaica will stimulate the local economy and add US $1 billion per annum to Jamaica's GDP, just in St. Elizabeth alone, based on the government's figures that 4 million visitors had added $4 billion US to Jamaican GDP over the past few years on average, etc. Hence, 1 million visitors coming to St. Elizabeth would add US $1 billion to both St. Elizabeth and Jamaica's GDP every year after the airport is being built. We know all the money will not remain in Jamaica, but even if half of that money remains in Jamaica, then that is still great, both for St. Elizabeth and for Jamaica. Jamaicans need to bear in mind that the money that built the large all-inclusive hotels had come from outside Jamaica in the first place. An international airport in St. Elizabeth will serve the other two neighboring parishes of Westmoreland and Manchester as well. These three parishes are the only parishes in Jamaica that are more than 1 hour's drive from an international airport. These three southwest parishes of Jamaica can easily absorb 3 million tourists per annum because of its size and true laid-back Jamaican vibes and the number of ecotourism attractions on offer in these parishes. Hence, an international airport in St. Elizabeth will have the potential to add up to US $3 billion per annum to Jamaica's GDP in just a few years' time, with 3 million visitors visiting the three southwestern parishes. Montego Bay Airport has been bringing 3 million visitors to the northwestern parishes for many years now. However, the Montego Bay Airport will be stretched in the next 2 to 3 years onwards. This is due to the unprecedented number of hotels currently being built in the northwestern parishes of Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney. Even with the Montego Bay Airport upgrades and the Montego Bay Ring Road and all that improvements, the city of Montego Bay will still be stretched both at the airport and on the roads, because thousands of extra hotel rooms will require thousands of extra hotel staffs. With the increased minimum wage, some of those hotel workers will be buying cars to travel to work, or they will be taking taxis to work, causing congestions on the roads. Hence, it is a good idea to have an airport in the southwest of Jamaica to take some of the loads off the Montego Bay Airport and roads. Most visitors would rather to go to a quieter airport where they can be processed within 1 hour than exit the airport 1 hour after landing, rather than going to a famous airport that is so busy that it will take 2 hours to be processed and collect their luggage before they can exit the airport. A lot of people, including myself, will avoid using Heathrow Airport in London at all costs and fly from a local airport instead, just to avoid the hassle at the busy London Heathrow Airport. Some people cannot avoid Heathrow Airport because of its interconnection between Europe, the USA, and other parts of the world, etc. While many are doing business in London itself, hence they need to use Heathrow Airport. Likewise, many people, including myself, would rather to use a local airport in Jamaica rather than traveling through Montego Bay Airport. I know that the government is investing quite a lot to improve the Montego Bay Airport. However, when I traveled through there last March 2022, it took over 2 hours for me to clear the airport. Previously, it had took just over 1 hour to clear the airport, and everyone used to be impressed with the ease of traveling to the Montego Bay Airport. I traveled to Jamaica every year for the past 10 years. Previously, I could hear the visitors around me praising the seamless transition to the Montego Bay Airport. However, that atmosphere had changed last year. People were just looking at each other and shaking their heads at the long waiting in the queues at the airport in Montego Bay. The government should not think that visitors will not travel to a local airport in St. Elizabeth. The opposite is true. A lot of visitors and diasporas will choose the local airport because it's less hassle and probably nearer to their final destinations in Jamaica. St. Elizabeth need the airport to stimulate the local economy in the southwest quarter of Jamaica that has seen very little investments in recent years compared to what has been spent in the other quarters of Jamaica. The Jamaican government investing US $1 billion in St. Elizabeth that will earn US $1 billion per year for Jamaica's GDP should not be a difficult sum for the government to figure out. US $1 billion may be needed both for the airport plus the full length runway of almost 4,000 meters and the roads to service the airport leading to the Southern Coastal Highway, etc. Depending on where in Elizabeth the airport will be built, of course. The Southwest received 1 to 3 million visitors per year will not diminish the number of visitors visiting the other quarters of Jamaica. The 1 million visitors per year will come from the new visitor numbers that the country is expecting over the coming years. Though some visitors who have already visited the Northwest will now return to visit Jamaica to visit the southwest of the country. Modern day tourists travel to cities and towns, not countries, in the way they express where they are going. Even in the Caribbean, tourists are traveling to remote islands within a particular Caribbean country. Some countries are now putting airports on these tiny islands that is less populated than Black River, never mind St. Elizabeth. It is time to put St. Elizabeth on the tourism trail. The parish is more than twice as big as St. James and much bigger than Hanover and St. James put together. We are simply too big to be left behind. We need the airport now. Thanks for watching this video. To support this channel, Please share and subscribe and leave your comments below. God bless you. God bless our Prime Minister. God bless the Jamaican Parliament. And God bless Jamaica. Until my next video, peace.